What up, family? It's your boy Amadu, and we are back with another episode of One Gotta Stay. This was gonna be a tough one. It was one of the toughest ones for me to put together. But right before we got on, my lights flickered. Doug left and came back. I'm hoping my power stays on, and we had a little bit of trouble trying to figure out what stays and what doesn't. This is everything, people. And some lists may not be the same as we present them. We're gonna just present them anyway. But with that, I'm gonna just present now the four really difficult choices we have to make. Picking one out of four of the non-white men directors, some of them happen to be doing a little bit more than others. But we got Sir Barry Jenkins, Mr. Jordan Peele himself, Ryan Coogler, aka Oakland born and bred, and Miss Ava Duverney. But more importantly, we got the panel. We got the panel, and I got a couple of people I've been trying to get on here for a minute. So I'm gonna go first over to my. Hey, I did it right. That direction. Alex, how you doing, sir?
I'm in a lot of danger tonight. I think my my first gotta go is gonna get me in a lot of trouble. But we're gonna see what happens.
We will see. We will see. And then right on the other side of him, he's back again for more pain. Chad Webb, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm really excited for this one. These were really hard to choose from.
Yeah, you ain't lying. You're lying. Right under him, we got her back. She's a veteran. She's been on here a bunch. Drew, and she brought along somebody with her who, after the Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston one, Loki cussed me out like, why didn't I know about this? Why wasn't I on there? So now she's saying, okay, I need to be on this one. We get a 2-for-1. How y'all doing?
Great. How y'all doing? Hi, I'm Merrick.
Oh, and then right next to them, the only one doing both directors. He was so great or wrong or I don't know, hated. He put comment twos hated, but it was so whatever that he's back again for second time.
Yeah, I'm surprised I got invited back. Honestly, a lot of people were yelling at me last week, but I guess that's kind of helpful on this show. So yeah, no, I'm excited to be allowed on camera again.
Hey, anytime. And right.
And I was right, by the way. I was not wrong or insulting anybody. I was right.
Stick to your guns.
I'm sticking to them. Fuck all sure. I'm sticking to mine.
We will figure that out Sunday, Madi. We will figure that out Sunday. But that's between the two of us. Right under me. It's my boy. My boy, Doug. What's going on? Back again. How you doing?
Good. Initially, when I put this list in, I'm gonna stick to my list regardless. I still think my list is probably the most accurate. My reasoning might change a little bit, but I'm super excited to talk about these lists.
All right, let's see how it goes. Because Doug, you're gonna be first.
Yeah.
To see if you are the most accurate. So, Doug, who is your first out? Who is your number 4 out of these 4 acclaimed directors / whatever else they're doing?
I already disagree with Doug.
Sweet. That's probably going to be the case with most people.
Hands, man.
It's the way I fold my hands, and it's how I talk, and it's how I react. People just don't like it. Anyway, I'm taking out Barry Jenkins first. I think Barry Jenkins is a phenomenal director. I've only seen a couple things that he's done. I've seen Moonlight. I've seen the episode of Dear White People that he's done, and I've actually seen the Underground Railroad, like the parts previews and stuff. So I'm excited to see that. It's filming right now, but I'm excited to see some of the stuff that they've got going on. But I just don't think, if we're looking at potential, what Rue said was, who's got the most potential? I think Barry's got a lot of potential if he decides what his next project's going to be, if it's not TV. And I like his TV stuff. His episode of Dear White People was hilarious. I love that show in general, but his episode was really funny. I honestly can't get him past 4, because Moonlight's great, but I haven't seen If Beale Street Can Talk. I'm sure that movie's just as good. I just haven't had the opportunity yet. But with two pieces that I've had the ability to see and haven't, it's hard to put somebody fully up there when they're, don't have much to work on art-wise.
Does anybody else agree with Doug besides me?
I automatically rescind my previous statement. I agree with Doug.
Thanks, man.
No.
This is a lot sooner than I thought it would be. No, I mean, you're right. He hasn't had, other than Moonlight, Beale Street Can Talk is a good movie, I guess. But
You guessed.
I mean, it was fine. I liked it enough, but I definitely went in comparing it to the novel, which I guess I should probably try not to do. But, for me, I couldn't go in without comparing it because I love the novel so much. And Dear White People is great. It's nice to hear a white person say that.
I like the movie too. I like the movie too.
Yeah, I like the movie. Yeah. I mean, we didn't talk about it as much last week, but it was really white last week with everyone going Coen Brothers. And this one, having a white guy say Dear White People is pretty good, I'm already into it. But no, I mean, the other thing is this list is so tight that, it's so hard to put them one over the other because they're all so good. But for me, it's just, other than Moonlight and Dear White People, I was just like, that other movie, Medicine for Melancholy, was as well. So, I don't know.
I also had very last, and I think I don't know if anybody else is doing this, but because they haven't done as many films as the directors from last week, it's one reason why I put it on there, because you kind of see a little bit more people's taste, and again, you go off of potential, and everybody's potential here is great, but Barry's going to be the one that if he has something out and everybody else does, you'll see later who was really, 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 really close for me. I took forever to watch Moonlight. It took me a really long time to watch Moonlight, and that was amazing. I don't know, it's because it just looks sad. It just looks sad.
It's a movie about a black man being gay. I think that's what a lot of black people for a long time.
I didn't even know that's what it was about for a long time. It was sad. It was beautifully done. It was colored really nicely, cinematically. But I feel it's just one of those, he makes those Oscar movies that critics love, but they're not really, there's not much that goes on in them,
Yeah, it's kind of just.
And so it's just one of those things. It's do I want to? Is this gonna keep me hooked the whole time? And then at the end, you're just kind of what did I just watch? And how did it just end like that? Yeah. I think there's an art to doing it, and he has it down. It's just not my personal favorite type of movie.
Same.
Yeah, I will say Moonlight did keep me hooked the entire time, but I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna. It took so long to watch it, and I'm not sure I'm going back to that.
I'm not gonna watch it again.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch it again, but I'm definitely not gonna watch La La Land again either. And that was definitely a better movie than La La Land. So
thank you, Mindy, because I was trying to stop myself from making a Moonlight, La La Land. Did somebody do a wrong joke?
I figured that's why I was gonna be brought on anyway. So
I'm in a faction with a person that loves Moonlight, and I can't stand that movie.
Wait, you mean La La Land?
Yeah, I just said Moonlight. I just called it an Oscar movie. I don't need the Oscars, guys.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Alex, you look a little dumbfounded.
I can't believe you brought me on the one panel that hates La La Land. I really like La La Land.
Oh my god. If I have to hear Ryan Gosling explain jazz music to me one more time, I'm gonna shoot myself.
That's fair. I don't have a problem with anybody that dislikes it, but I understand why people don't like it, but I like it. It's fine. He's not a good dancer, but it's fine. He tried.
You're wrong.
I will say I will watch Moonlight before I watch La La Land. I'm sorry. I will watch that again. I've seen both. So, all right. If there's nothing else on that, this seems
I can add something. Yeah, I just wanted everybody to get their piece out first, but I'm of the opinion that Moonlight is a masterpiece. So,
no, it's definitely great. But
I saw that movie.
We don't want to watch it again.
And in the theater, there were people walking out during the beach scene, and that for me just kind of speaks to how important of a movie it is. It shows where we are with that sort of thing in movies and now, and just the way that they had the character portrayed by 3 different people, but so well. It just, for me, I love that movie so much. So it's kind of for that reason I couldn't put him forth.
I definitely an important movie, but I think there are also a lot of movies like, even with, I don't want to jump the gun with Ava, but like there are movies that are great that I would recommend that people should see for their own self, but I wouldn't watch again. And that's one thing.
The nice thing about all of these directors is they all have like that one movie that's like so fucking perfect.
Yes.
And like really speaks to like the African American experience, which is like almost more necessary now. Like, not to get political or anything, but I mean,
get whatever you want. I don't care.
Fuck it. Black Lives Matter. Like they all made movies that like are like really important to watch, especially like in this day and age. But if you're ranking just those 4 movies, Barry Jenkins is still 4th on this list of 3, or you know what I mean.
Whatever it's going. Yes. Yeah. I agree. It doesn't seem too much of a hot takes, but it does hurt to get rid of Moonlight. But from there, we're gonna go on. He was a little scared beforehand, so let's see how this goes out. Alex, what is your number 4?
He had to go sometime. Jordan Peele's out.
What? Get up and stand back down.
Oh my God.
Get up and sit back down. Yikes.
All right, to be fair, let's hear him out.
You're not gonna hear.
I like this guy.
That's exactly the reaction I wanted.
That's the kind of reaction I got last week. I'm sticking by you, man. We gotta.
There's no wrong answers, but that's the wrong answer.
Oh my God. I love this.
I was gonna snap.
Hey, hang on. I genuinely made this pick when I thought we were just doing directing work, and I agree that this is a really tight list of directors who all have films that I really, really like, and some of which I really, really love. But Jordan Peele does his best work as a producer. He does his best work as a writer. He's not even out of his 2-person set. He's not the funniest person in the set. So if we're taking just on what it is that they're doing, and I think that bringing back the Twilight Zone was fine, and Lovecraft Country, is that right?
County, I think.
County.
Doesn't matter. Is going to be great, but he's not helming any of those shows. He's getting those shows off the ground and then handing it off to other people. That's what he's doing. And to be perfectly honest, if going on to the rest of my list, not to spoil anything, but like there's other people that are doing that, and they're doing it at a higher level. I have nothing against Jordan Peele. I really, really liked Get Out. I think the last scene in Get Out where you see the lights flashing,
oh my God,
I think is one of the scariest moments I've ever had in a movie theater. But Us was fine.
And that's the important thing, though, is that he's kind of bringing horror back. He's like making people want to go to the theater to watch horror movies again.
But not cheap, corny horror
Exactly.
movies. Like he's making horror movies out of real life situation.
Yeah.
Right.
He wrote Candyman.
Which is nice.
He wrote Candyman. He's producing Candyman. And
We haven't
Candyman
seen
is
it yet,
still...
though.
I can give you that.
Yeah.
I'm telling
Yaya's
you,
on it.
it's gonna...
Yaya's on it. I'm gonna go see it so it doesn't.
But I mean, Candyman, he's bringing back one of probably my favorite horror movies, like, and horror aspects. I love that story. I love the whole story, and I think the twist that Jordan Peele's going to give it, everything that he's written for Twilight Zone has been phenomenal. I literally just purchased, because I wasn't sure he was doing any episodes, like any real episodes for the show, and then I was like, oh, he's writing episodes for it. Hey, CBS All Access, you got me for a month at least.
Flipping the script and putting Black people in a different position, like a traditional horror movie, Black people are the first to die. And now he's making them the center characters. And you can see there are other networks and directors trying to do that with like Ma, it tried, but it didn't, you know? It's like he's making it cool.
Real quick, did anybody else have Peele last?
No.
There's no way.
Alex, my question to you is because you don't like horror that you also did not pick it?
Here's the thing. As I've grown up and as I've gotten older, I've been able to tolerate more horror movies. And Get Out was one of the ones that I first paid attention to. I saw it win an Academy Award, and I was like, "Oh, that's interesting. That must mean something." So I went and I saw that, and then I was really excited for Us. And Us, to be perfectly honest, was kind of a letdown. I think there are some strong performances in it.
I just want to point out the reaction just now was so funny.
Drew,
The two at the end of a 1-2 punch, the two didn't hit as strong as the one.
Have you seen Lupita Nyong'o's performance in that?
I said Lupita Nyong'o's performance was great,
good.
but the fact of the matter is that the rest of the movie, the writing in that movie, is super strong.
All right, so I'm gonna just throw some.
This is, by the way, I don't mean this to say that Jordan Peele is a bad director or a bad producer or a bad writer. I think he's excellent. I think just that everything that everything that he's doing, other people on this list are doing it at a higher level and are being as successful, or if they're not as successful, being just as good.
Do we know yet if he can sing?
I feel like he probably did it on Key and Peele at some point, but who knows?
I know they had the sketch where there was an R&B singer, and I don't remember who was the singer.
And he was doing that a cappella group that one time.
I kept comparing it to the Chappelle Show, so I couldn't take that show seriously. But
hey! They are two different shows.
I know, but come on.
Alex,
calm down, Ron. Calm down.
I'll give you this. What I was saying is Lupita's performance was great, but there's plenty of times in my head I'm like, I'm just fighting my actual feelings on this movie. I like this movie, but if I really am in my heart saying how good of a movie Us is, it's all right. It's just
fun. There's nothing wrong with that. There's lots of fine horror movies.
Up until today, I have outwardly just went hard for that movie. But I know in my heart, I'm like, man, it's not as good as you're saying. But stay with it.
I just want to point out, Amaru, next week when you start saying shit, I'm going to be like, Amaru doesn't talk with his heart half the time anyway, so it's fine. Listen, the thing about Get Out was a brilliant movie, absolute phenomenon. But yeah, you're right. Us was pretty good, and then even his other work. You can be a fan if you want. I'm not going to spend that much more on it. But if we're not just talking about just his directing stuff, Keanu I thought was really funny. And then some of the voice acting he's done on various shows has been pretty good. And the producing stuff that he's done, with Hunters, which is on Amazon, I think, I really enjoyed. And Twilight Zone, I haven't gotten around to seeing yet. He's done a lot of great stuff in a non-director's chair. But if it's just directing, then he's just done Get Out and Us. And I thought we were just talking about directing. So I was like, I mean, and they're both great movies in their own right. And Get Out, you're right. That police scene at the end was hands down the biggest heart attack I've had in years.
Yeah. Right. You still didn't have him fourth though.
I didn't have him fourth, no. Okay. But that was just because of how. We'll talk about it. I will say though, I had a white friend of mine tell me that the Fruit Loop scene was the scariest scene in the movie, and I don't know if that's every white person or if it's just this one guy who's a little fucked up.
It was weird. It was weird. But we're gonna too much into it. We're gonna move on to Chad. Chad, who do you have as your fourth place, your first out, the one that's gotta go?
Okay, so I have reasoning for this, so please don't jump on me.
Oh no,
it's Ava.
Get the fuck out of my face. Amaru, take him off the call. I don't need this anymore. This is a lot of negativity.
I knew somebody was going to be controversial.
It looks like I'm still on, so.
Man, come on, get out of here. I don't need this shit.
So, go ahead, Chad. Why Ava?
In these four, the reason. Okay, so I will preface this by saying that I think Selma and 13th are some of the best movies I've ever seen, and 13th right now, as other people were saying, is really, really, really important, and everyone should watch that movie. However, she's the only one I think that has made arguably a bad movie with Wrinkle in Time. So it's there's that, and also I haven't seen her show. So
which one?
Oh, when they see us?
Yes, I haven't seen.
She has a few. That's why
See,
I asked.
now
That is why you have to
explains everything. Now I understand it.
You can't.
There you go. Maybe that's
How are
why.
we gonna judge these people if we're not watching their literal best piece of work?
How did you let this guy on? I don't understand. Wasn't there like a qualifying process?
And watch when they see us. What the
Look,
fuck?
look, I can't judge him because I still have not seen Fargo, and that's why that's one reason why the Coen
Fargo's different. Fargo's not important.
Oh, when they
Fuck Fargo.
Look,
Legit.
I
If you've
also
been
can't
through
blame
North Dakota, you know what it is. Like it's the same shit as every other one of their movies.
I also can't blame him because my brother swears by he'll never watch When They See Us because he can't take it. So that also goes
That's
into
different.
it.
It's hard to watch.
That speaks to
That's
what she pulls out
different.
of people. That speaks to what she pulls out of people. And just to be frank, that show isn't for us. It's for white people. We already know what it's about.
Yeah, we live
very
it.
True. Very true. That's very true.
I guess I need to see it then, right?
Yes.
You do. You,
All right.
you
Get
very
the
much
fuck
do.
off this call and watch it right now. What are you doing? Like, why are you wasting your
Let's
time?
not do that.
It's
Let's not
nice
do
to meet
that.
you, but come on, get out of here.
Go watch it in about 30 minutes. You'll be
That
all
was
right.
my reasoning. A Wrinkle in Time. I don't.
I mean,
That was such a
It's
horrible.
just when we think of potential, I'm like,
Not horrible.
if you go for potential, then it's like, well, if she's the only one, it's just math, I guess. But if that show is as good as you guys say it is, then maybe that might outweigh the bad one. I don't know. I haven't seen it, so
yeah.
Please do. I think it's going
I would probably rank it different. I don't know.
Yes, you would.
So
Okay.
Let's move
we
on. I'm
already
getting too upset.
yeah we already know Chad and Alex are by themselves in their picks.
Right.
So because of that, just one of the quick recap. Me, American Drew, Doug, and Medee all got rid of Barry first. And then Alex got rid of Jordan. Chad got rid of Ava, unfortunately. So let's just before people just get clapped or something, let's just go on to people's third place, their second out. Medee, we're gonna go to you. Who is in third for you?
For third? This is where it started getting really tough for me because I love the last three that are on this list, and it was Jordan Peele, and it was. Now hang on, I just said I love Get Out. I thought Us was great, and I thought it was just based on directing, and I was like, if that's just two of them, I can't give him the spot over Ava, who's had like the 13th, Selma, and like fucking When They See Us, which is. I'm not going to go into that again. And then I can't give him to him over Ryan Coogler either because, like, it's two against, like, all of their work, and I just couldn't do it. I love his movies, and I think his comedic work on TV is hilarious. And I've loved so many of the things that he's been a part of. But if it's just from his directing, he falls to third on this, like, really, really tight list for me.
Does anybody else have Jordan going out third?
All right, well, that's...
You're wrong, sir. You are.
You said that last week, too.
His reasoning isn't horrible.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. If this was like 5 years from now and Jordan Peele had like two other movies out, this list would change hands down. But he only has two, and I love Get Out, and Us was pretty good. And if I knew we were counting other works too, I probably would have put him higher or lower, like depending on how I would have decided to rank him later. But
We just see more potential in him.
I mean, I do see potential, but I want to see him direct something that isn't horror as well, because horror is not my favorite, but I do enjoy it when it's done well. Like, that's fine, Jake. Fuck you. What do I care? Come at me. But, like, I mean, I couldn't give him the spot with such little work and such little variety of work as well. Like, if it's just two horror movies, sorry, man. You're going in third place. You're above Barry Jenkins, if that means anything to you, but...
Hey. All right. Well, not many people agree. Nobody agrees with you on that point. So we're just moving on.
I'm used to that.
Unless somebody else has anything they want to throw at him anymore. I kind of think we already lobbed everything at Alex for that in the first place.
Yeah.
I'm glad Alex put it out there. Otherwise, I would have been dealing with some shit right now.
So we're gonna go over to American Drew. Reverend Drew, who is in third place for you? Who's your second out?
Oh, for me it was Ava. Yeah, okay, we both got rid of Ava. Third.
So for me, that was really hard to do.
When they see us, though.
As the only okay, but like you said, the other three have more pieces of work to honestly choose from, and they have really powerful pieces. For me, it was hard to put her there because she was the only female Black director on this list. But
Wait.
but she tends to make a lot of movies that are like autobiographical, and I think that that's really good. I think that the fact that she can remake them and make us feel something about these people is great. But I felt like the other two are creating new stories and new worlds.
Okay.
And that's kind of, sometimes, you want to watch something where the ending, and then sometimes you want to watch something where it surprises you. So I love Ava. I love her work and I appreciate her work, but that's why she's number 3 for me.
For me, she's number 3 because of A Wrinkle in Time. It wasn't catered to me as a child's movie, which I should have realized before I went to go inside the theater and had all these kids crying, and but it was visually appealing and it looked great, but it just wasn't a movie for me. Selma, a movie, it was good. When They See Us hits home. It's a one-time watch again. So I didn't speak much about Barry, but similar to Ava, they both give me one-time watch work. And for me, when I think about movies and I rank them, it's all about how many times can I go back and rewatch these things.
Sure, she's a rewatcher.
I'm a rewatcher, so yeah.
I also had Ava third. Did anybody else?
Yep.
A lot of us had. So we gave you all that mess. Here's the deal. Here's the deal with Ava.
5 of you are wrong. What the fuck?
Here's the deal with Ava. I almost put her fourth. I very much
out of here.
I very, very much did. It was really rough between Barry and Ava for me. And I saw When They See Us. And I cried during When They See Us. And it is absolutely amazing. Wow. But it goes back to, as you said, rewatchability. And the one reason I kept Ava over Barry, Dad, this might make you change your mind, was When They See Us. I was like,
probably will, to be honest.
Potential wise, I'm low key wondering whether Barry or Ava are better. But I was like, okay, I can't. They're kind of neck and neck with me for potential. I can't get rid of When They See Us. I can't keep Moonlight and get rid of When They See Us. I can't do it. As much as so many other people have not seen it because of pain, or just time. I was like, yeah, that can't go. At least not before Moonlight, unfortunately. But it was close. So Chad, I am not as hard on you as everybody else is on that because it was close for me. Alex, Doug, why do you have Ava last?
Go down.
I mean third.
Well, Ava was a tough one. I almost had her out first. But one thing that really saved her around was I appreciate a good documentary. And I think looking back through her work, her documentary work especially, some biographical work as well with Selma, I think that stuff is what we really need to be keeping a lot of right now, especially. Speaking to When They See Us, my mother called me. This was when she was maybe like married. She remarried she was like a year or two into her second marriage with my stepfather, George. And she called me and she said, I had this weird thing happen where I was watching When They See Us and George walked into the room, said, "Hey, what are you watching?" She said, "Oh, I'm watching this series about," and he went, "Oh, okay." And then he walked right back out. Like he could not stand to be in the same room as anything that was going on. And I saw it after that and I was like, okay, I understand where he's coming from. And there is a point to that pain. And I think that is a kind of pain that we need to remember. If you remember when people watched Watchmen this past year and found out about the bombings, They were like,
Oh,
"Is
the
that a
Tulsa
thing?
stuff? Yeah.
Is that a thing that happened?"
That was
Yes,
the thing.
it was a thing that happened,
That was the thing.
and a lot of people found out about that through a fiction show based on a movie based on an Alan Moore book. Isn't that absolutely crazy that we're watching HBO for historical true facts? And
I knew Game of Thrones was real.
yeah, I knew Game of Thrones was real. And more than that, I think that's really what saved her over Jordan, is that like Get Out matters, but if you never if you only saw the surface level of Us, you would have watched a kind of above average horror movie. And there is nothing that is, I mean, with the exception of Wrinkle in Time, which is so out of her comfort zone, there is nothing that is below average on Ava DuVernay's entire career. All she does is knock it out of the park with documentaries on a pretty decently wide variety of topics. Music, there's stuff about people, there's crime. So I think that overall is what saved Ava for a few rounds. And I have to admit, I haven't seen all of Ava's work, but I honestly, after researching it for this, I want to watch all of it.
Doug?
Same here.
All right. So these three were the hardest to place. Ava has created some of my favorite biographical documentary work in the last decade. When They See Us should be on every history synopsis syllabus that's out now, because we shouldn't be going through the issues that we're going. I'm tearing up already because this is very passionate to me. Salma was great work. It's still biographically. So the reason that I had to put her in this position was because of her work going forward is all based off of all for fictional work. It's not based off of nonfiction. All those stuff that she's got coming out. DMZ is based in the future against America having a civil war. New Gods is coming out. And then she has Battle of Versailles, which is a TV movie, as well as DMZ. So when we look at these things, it's like, I hate to put her here because her work is so important. It should be showed in history classes. It should be showed to people to open their eyes. I agree with Alex. Watchmen shouldn't have showed us the things that happened in real life, guys. We should learn these things. We should learn these things because not everybody is going to want to go out and learn these things. So if you show them real facts and you show them real things and you show how brutal we are as human beings and how deplorable, people that get power are, I think it's important. I feel bad putting her here, but like I said, the last three are it's where we see them in the future, and I see Ava destroying the world with and rebuilding it with her eye on documentaries and biopics. But when it comes to fictional work, she's not the greatest, and A Wrinkle in Time is a big notch for me. That was a really I like family movies. I like Pixar movies. I like movies like that because I like to take my nieces to it, and I like to enjoy the same things. I like to get the same experience with them and seeing a smile on their face. But when 5 and 6 year olds are looking like, is it time to go yet? You might have a problem. So that might not have been the greatest work for her, but going off of that piece. But again, it's whoever's watching, phone your educational board and tell them they need to put those pieces on, because 13th is important. Salma's important. When They See Us is important. They're all important works, and they should be seen by everybody. Sign a permission slip. I remember signing a permission slip to see certain movies. Sign a permission slip. Ain't nobody gonna say no. I don't want my kid to see that movie, because if they do, then you need
to see the movie a little bit more.
Then you need to see the movie.
All right. With that, we got one more to go. Chad, you're up again.
So I just kind of swapped what most everybody else did, and I put Barry as third. Just because I knew this was going to get deep because a lot of these movies are really deep. So and I tried to keep that in mind, but like, I think when people were talking about like mostly one watch, I mean, I've seen Selma like twice. I like to watch that one at, like every once in a while because I think it's really important, that one too. 13th I've only seen once, and I really need to see When They See Us. But like Moonlight, I have only seen that one once, and I've already really kind of said my piece about Moonlight, but I think it is a really, really important movie because it does focus on a lot of like, homosexual issues and stuff like that. And I just think that's really important too. But with the other ones, the other filmmakers just have movies that I like to watch more, more often, and have more. Well, maybe not one, but the other one has like more like versatile work, I would say. And so when we're thinking of potential, yeah, that's why I would put Barry third and Ava fourth. Although I could probably just switch them. I mean, they were my first and second out or whatever.
Yeah, I will say this is by far I said it before, I will say it again. This is by far the hardest list that I've personally had to choose from.
Oh, yeah.
And I was extremely like, wow, in terms of what I was thinking. So going at it, nobody's gotten rid of Ryan yet. I'm left with me, American Drew, Chad, and Doug all have Jordan and Ryan left. Alex has Barry and Ryan, and Medee has Ava and Ryan. And going into it, we have two groups. Two people picked Jordan Peele, and two people picked Ryan Coogler. And that is a little surprising because I thought that the Ava might have had one here or there, possibly Barry. But all four of these are really, really close. I am trying to offer time lists, but
while you're doing a little bit of work,
I do kind of, and we'll see. Okay. The two people I would expect, I have Ryan Coogler, me and Drew. We kept Jordan.
Wait, are you saying that Coogler was my number one?
No, your Jordan Peele was your number one. You and Mary's number one, as well as mine. I thought you would have Ryan, and I think everybody would think I would have Ryan off of Black Panther.
I was almost sure that you would have Ryan on there, man. Damn.
That was my surprise.
Peele was our number two. Our number one. Ryan Coogler was our number one.
Okay, well we can talk about it.
Oh, Mary, yours, Ryan Coogler was your number one too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did have one little switch. So cool. But me and Drew have Jordan Peele, and then everybody else has Ryan Coogler. And I will say this is by far the most surprising thing I've done since I've done the show, because the second I put it together, my gut said Jordan Peele, and I was like, with Black Panther. But how did that happen? How did that happen?
Listen.
And I don't know what it is, but for me, the fact that, I think somebody said it before, Jordan Peele made me watch horror. He made me watch horror films. That was the first one. A Quiet Place came next, and Us came next, and I was just like, okay, I could not get rid of it, even without Key and Peele. The substitute teacher skit is my skit. I will show my class at any point in time when I am just about done with them.
I still call Aaron's Aaron.
It's always Aaron.
Like I've never referred to them by their actual name anymore.
No. But Get Out is one of the most important movies that has ever been put on screen to me, I believe. I think the one other thing that not kills, but probably why I keep Jordan over Ryan, and I keep saying that, and I keep saying, what the hell is wrong with you? I have not watched Fruitvale Station.
Ooh, go watch that movie.
I will not. I
don't understand how you doing this and y'all aren't watching your best work.
It's the reason why I will not watch Fruitvale Station. I watched the last 5 minutes of it because I have driven by that. I have gone by that station way too many times. I've seen that spot in person way too many times.
Oh shit!
That was more painful for me to think about than When They See Us was. just because of personal, because I
was
know
hard to
that
watch,
station.
sure.
I didn't even realize that you lived. Damn. Okay.
And it was just like, oh, good. Nah. But even more so, I even think, even without that, I think weirdly, I was so surprised I had Jordan over Ryan, because I love Black Panther to death. But yeah, I have Jordan, and that's my reasoning.
I mean, I can't fault you for your reasoning, but I still think you're wrong.
I know, I should see it, but I have to have the most strength I have ever had to even want to see that.
I think that Ryan Coogler shows his versatility the most of all of them thus far. He can do, action. He can do autobiographical, and then he can build a whole new world with Black Panther. So that's why he's producing is amazing. His writing is great. So he's got to be number one for me. I think that Jordan Peele is doing something really different, and he's found a lane and he's staying in it, and that's great. But in terms of the catalog and what he's already done, Ryan Coogler has to be number one for me.
Ryan Coogler is bringing Space Jam 2, man. I don't know what else.
And it'll be great.
I agree that movie with Daniel Kaluuya, like on the real Black Panthers,
I don't. Here's the thing with Ryan Coogler, I only watched Fruitvale Station because I was like, oh, he's doing the next Rocky movie, and like I'm a big fan of Rocky. Like I watched those a lot, like during like some tough times in my life, and so like Rocky's always been personal. And then I was like, all right, this guy's doing it. Let's see what else he's done. And I watched Fruitvale Station. I was like, this guy's doing it. They got like this serious ass director like making this movie. I was in right away. And then I loved Creed. I thought it was the best Rocky movie since the original. And then Black Panther, I think, is the only time that I've gone into a packed theater where there was no white people in the audience. And like, I know that like some people,
Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah, like some people might not understand. It's like, oh, whatever. Like you have a theater full of not white people, but it's like, for me, I'm living in Canada, man. Like we don't have a lot of people of color up here, and if you see a full theater of just black people, just brown people, and just people who are like, we're gonna be on screen, and it's packed, it's a different vibe. Like I don't even know how I would describe it. Like every other movie I've been to, even Django, is like, all right, there's like mostly white people, and Selma, there was like a couple old white ladies, and then there was like me, and that was it. Like it wasn't a sellout theater. Like Get Out, it was a bunch of guys with their girlfriends, and then a couple black guys with their white girlfriends, and they did not leave that theater happy. Everyone was staring at them walking out. Everyone was just kind of waited, like,
That really wasn't.
It was like, oh, you didn't know what this was about, did you?
Yeah. But Black Panther was like the first time that I felt like people of color were able to fill movie theater seats. And it showed in its box office as well. Like it made like $1 billion. And when I went in, I wasn't sure what I was going to expect. And then they started making like jokes, like African jokes, like, colonizer. And everyone laughed. And I was like, holy shit, this is what it feels like. Like I feel the power here. And it was like, it was so different from like watching any other Marvel movie where it's like the regular laughs, the regular whatever. It was just, it had a different feel to it, and I wouldn't trade that experience for anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so you picked Ryan Coogler too.
Yeah, no, I definitely did. Like,
you did? Okay, cool.
If it was just one of his movies, like I know I said about Jordan Peele was like he had only had 2 movies that he directed, but Ryan Coogler, if it was just one of those movies that he had done and nothing else, I still probably would have put him first, just because of how much I love Fruitvale Station, how much I love Creed, and how much I love the experience of going to Black Panther. So adding all the other stuff that he's producing as well, I'm just like, fuck it, he takes it.
I'm basically gonna like mirror a lot of what you said, because the reason why I picked Ryan Coogler first is because while I love Jordan Peele so much, exactly for what Amaru said, is that those 2 movies make me want to see horror. Even though I'm a kind of a big horror fan, my wife's a huge horror fan. Already, he invigorized it and just like made it like exciting again, made people want to go back to the theater every time a Jordan Peele movie comes out, and that's great. However, he is not as versatile yet as Ryan Coogler is. Fruitvale Station has a lot of the beats that a lot of Ava's work does, as far as being really important, showing what some people go through. And it has that, and it has that real life story to it, and it's like really real for someone like Amaru, who lives near that. And it's like something that I don't have to go through, and it's like people like me do need to see stuff like that, especially like when they see us and stuff like that. So he has that. He can make stuff like that. That's great. But he also reinvigorized the Rocky franchise. And Sly's been trying to do that for a while now, and it's been okay. But then he was like, let's make Creed, and that was a huge movie, and it kind of aided in cementing Michael B. Jordan's career. And now he's like one of the biggest actors out there. And if you haven't seen him in, I'm sure people have seen The Wire, but if you haven't seen him in The Wire or Friday Night Lights, he's crazy good in both of those shows.
I was just about to say, put some respect on his name. Hardball was my shit.
Yes, it was.
Don't hate on Hardball. G Baby for life.
Yeah, look, here's the thing I was saying though about Ryan. I don't know what it is, but I feel like if Jordan Peele did go somewhere else, he would kill it. And that's what that's what I'm thinking going into it. Just looking at Get Out, Us was the experience of all Black people when I went to it. It didn't live up to what I wanted to because Get Out was so high. But seeing what he's done with Key and Peele, and seeing how he's taken that and moved into horror, I have no doubts that I think he could do something else just as well.
Sure.
It's just a gut for me, and why I'm keeping him over Coogler. That's just how I feel.
But I think
Go ahead.
For me, it's kind of the opposite. You know me. I'm a huge horror fan. I love everything that he's done. I love the comedy he's done. I love the weird stuff he's done. The stuff he's writing. Wendell and Wild, it's two demon brothers facing off against a nun and a pair of goth teams. Tell me that doesn't sound interesting as hell. Lovecraft Country, I'm super excited to see how wild that gets, but he's a writer on those. If he was directing those, I'd be happy. I'd be like, all right, he's expanding a little bit more into the weird of horror. For me, I seen Fruitvale Station 2013 when it came out. I purposely went and watched his shorts. Fig and Locks are phenomenal. If you have not watched them, go watch them. They're incredible. It's a 2009. Locks is from 2009. It's about basically a guy going to walk to his barbershop and everything. It's really good. It's interesting. So you go from Fruitvale Station, this heart-wrenching tale of what happens to this man at the end of the day, because again, our society is completely fucked up. Excuse my language.
Why? Fuck, shit, cock, whatever. Go ahead.
All right, cool. But then you go and bring us Creed. And Creed, for me, I was done with Rocky after Rocky Balboa. I was like, I don't really want to watch another Rocky film. Okay. And then I was like, oh, it's going to be a different take. All right, and it's coming from Ryan Coogler. I seen Fruitvale Station. Let me see what he does. And the boxing in this movie is artwork.
So good.
Yes.
It is artwork. Then we go to Black Panther. And Black Panther changed superhero culture. I don't care what you have to say. It changed superhero culture. Listen, Chadwick Boseman, Michael B. Jordan, they need to be on screen together more often. Because their chemistry on film was just electrifying. And then I'm super excited for the two things that he's got coming out. Scenes for a Minor is basically it's working with foster care children and stuff like that. And then he has another movie coming out with Michael B. Jordan, if you couldn't guess it. He works with them a lot, but I like the stuff that he brings out of Michael B. Jordan. But it's basically about a math teacher in Atlanta who basically was trying to alter his students' test scores to get them, pushed up and looked at better. And it sounds incredible. I'm excited for all of it. And so when it comes down to down to basically what you asked us, who has the most potential? I think out of all these directors, someone who's shown us every side that he has, and has still more to go. It's Ryan Coogler at the end of the day. I think this guy is a genius. Put him behind a camera and he could film shit for 5 hours and I'd watch it. Literally.
That's a lot, sir. That's a lot.
I'm just saying.
I'd pay tickets to see it in IMAX.
I'd pay tickets. Exactly. But that's when it comes down to it. And I mean, if you look at his writing credits, he's writing Space Jam: A New Legacy. He's writing Black Panthers 2. He helped write parts of Creed 3. He went and rewrote some of the stuff. I mean, all his stuff is just incredible, and I just can't wait to see more from this guy. Sorry, I talked a while. That was a lot. I apologize.
It's all good.
I think it's called Judah and the Black Messiah coming out soon.
Judah and the Black Messiah is the one that Eric was talking about. I was saying, Drew, I need you to come make me feel better before I change my mind.
Yeah. Before I get into Jordan, I agree with everything that you guys are saying about Ryan. I think Ryan's great. I loved Black Panther. It was easier to put those two people in front of the other two just because of my style of movies that I enjoy watching. I thought Creed 2 was better than Creed in my opinion, but Creed was great as well. I think he does great work, and I love Black Panther so much that I really went into like a real big YouTube dive, learning more about his intentionality with what he was doing with the movie, like how he had them standing in certain spaces to do the Pan-African flag, or like the intentionality about her fighting with her heels and all that kind of stuff, and what that meant for woman empowerment. So I really love Ryan, and I think that he's great, and he could have been number one, but it's very similar to Rue. When I saw the list, the first name that popped into my head was Jordan. I do not like horror. I do not like scary, any synonyms. I say I don't like scary movies, and people say, well, it's not scary. It's whatever synonym you can use. I do not watch those movies. But just for the culture and the hype of Get Out, I went to go see Get Out, and I was blown away. I was like, wow, like a horror film that I really enjoyed, and I didn't have to sit there with my hands over my eyes the whole entire time, and I really loved it. But for me, what really, hit the nail on the head, which you guys might disagree, was Us. I loved Us. I saw it more than one time in theaters. I think that with that movie, people could take different things out of it. You could watch it at surface level. You can watch it and be political. My dad's a preacher, and he watched it and he got some biblical references out of it. So I just think it was a great movie. Some of the little things with her snapping off beat that he caught, like just those little things were so dope for me. Call the police, and they start playing Fuck the Police. Like I just loved it. It could have been his acting, his directing. It could have been Lupita's acting in it, which I thought she was phenomenal for a horror movie. For me to think that you should be award-winning, I think is very outside the box. So, Jordan, you introduced me to the world of horror, and I will continue to watch all of your horror films.
She played 2 roles in that movie.
It's crazy how good she
was in that. And then the little girl, like I think that she was great as well. The little girl, she was great in that movie. There were so many laughs, so many scary moments. I just loved it. Thank you, Jordan.
Alex, before finishes off, I don't know what was more entertaining, Drew giving that or Merrick's reactions behind her. I was just stuck on like everything that she
heard her talk about the intentionalities and dualities of things, but she does.
This is a lot smarter show than I thought it was. I was just going to come in here and talk about this.
Same here, but this is why
She's like, my father's a preacher and he saw biblical references. I was like, damn, this is a serious show.
She is passionate about us. Yes.
No, we've been here making dick jokes, and like all of a sudden there's like actual commentary going on. This is amazing.
Alex, you also saved Ryan. Any other thoughts that have not been said? And if they have, say them again.
Well, I think one of the thoughts that really stuck out at me was versatility. I think Ryan, not only does he have the historical lens, he does that very well to the point where someone on this very panel couldn't finish or couldn't watch the movie because it's coming. What's going to happen at the end. It really is, outside of horror, that's the worst kind of feeling you can get in a movie is, oh no, I know where we're going here. He is able to hit the sports moments in Creed. I'm a big combat sports fan. I love when there's a proper boxing movie or proper kickboxing movie. I love that kind of stuff. The fighting in that is beautiful. And again, Black Panther. I think another personal experience of mine is when I went to go see Avengers Endgame. Not just Black Panther. When I went to go see Avengers Endgame, mostly packed theater because I saw it a few times. But one of the times I saw it, the two seats in front of me were empty until right about showtime. Then these two older Black women came in. They sat down and they were quiet for most of the movie. They just sat there. They laughed occasionally, but at the end, when T'Challa comes back, those women came to life. They were as loud as anybody else in the movie theater. We were all cheering.
And I was like, yes, the day.
And I think that is a very important moment. But I think more so is I think Ryan really does what everybody else on this list has done. He is a writer. He is a director. He's a fantastic producer. He kicks a lot of those doors open. Then invites, hey, do you want Creed? I made Creed. Here, you do the sequel. And then he hands it off to other fantastic Black people to also direct, to also write, to also produce. So it's not just, we're not just getting one fantastic performer or performance. I think we're getting a bunch. Winston Duke. Would Winston Duke have been in Us if he wasn't in Black Panther? I can't say for sure, but I know that it was a stronger contention. Winston Duke is huge, right now. That's incredible. That guy's had a huge turnaround.
Other than Lupita.
Yeah. So I think Ryan really is just doing what everybody else on this is doing. Maybe not as a high level. Yeah, as he doesn't do the historical lens as well as Ava does. He doesn't do the writing as well as maybe Jordan does. But I think as a perfect encapsulation of what everybody's doing on this list, I think Ryan is the one that's doing it, and he's successful. That's something that I maybe can't say about Ava, or that I can't say about Barry Jenkins, is that Ryan's out here making millions and billions of dollars on these movies and showing that this is a market. Black people can be are a market in and of itself, and they're tired of not being seen in movies. When I went to go see Into the Spider-Verse, I was so happy to hear a superhero, anybody speak Spanish to their mom. That was such a moment for me. And it's only happened a few times, and I can only imagine what it's like for Black people in not just in this country, but in the world, to have that entire, I guess we're just not going to get movies this year. Oh, hey, we got one. That's nice. That cannot be good for psychology. That cannot be good for them or anybody as a culture. And I think Ryan is really at the forefront. I mean, everybody on this list is, but I think Ryan is really at the forefront of real change, real tangible change. As awesome as a Best Picture win is for Moonlight, I think $1 billion in the box office, I think that's real, tangible. That's a paradigm shift in a way that Us or Melancholy or whatever that first Barry Jenkins movie just kind of isn't. If Beale Street Could Talk was beautiful, but I'm not going to see it again. I'm just not. But Black Panther, any day of the week. Creed, any day of the week.
Good Lord, dude.
You got somebody else. Somebody else believes in it. But yeah, with that, this was a very, very different episode than I expected. I loved it. This is one of the favorite ones I've had. I appreciate y'all so much for being on here. I think this was just absolutely amazing. I will have any of y'all on here at any time. So finishing this off, here's the orders. Me, Merrick, and Drew almost had basically the same list, except Merrick has Coogler instead of Peele. Alex, everybody else got Ryan. And if we look down at the stats, we will see how many people kept who. So 14% of the people kept Barry.
Sorry,
57% of the people kept Ryan. 29% kept Jordan. Nobody kept Ava. Wrinkle in time, you son of a bitch. And then the percentages in terms of the first gone, Barry was kicked out first 57% of the time. Ava 29% of the time. Jordan 14% of the time. Nobody kicked out Ryan. So I mean, it looks like he's kind of the favorite here. Before I end it off, as I always do, I'm gonna go around. Anybody got things to plug? And I want to thank y'all again so much. This is amazing. Chad, we'll start off with you. Anything you got going on, sir?
I just want to say I didn't really get to talk much about Black Panther. I think it's a masterpiece despite the third act problems. And I just I really love that movie. I can't wait to watch it again. But yeah, I'm on Letterboxd, CWeb1534. I'm doing trivia matches all over the place. I got a Buffy the Vampire Slayer trivia match coming up on Thursday. I've been studying like a boss for that, and I just hope that I don't embarrass myself. But that's coming up on Thursday over at Jack of All Trivia. So if you're interested, yeah, that should be fun.
Cool. Drew and Merrick.
Yeah, you can follow me at Drew Suave, just like it says on Twitter and IG. I tweet movie reviews, so come follow me.
He's also a dope writer for Bite Size Reviews as well on IG. We both do that.
Yeah, you can follow me at Mary Kay. You can also follow my nonprofit Exhale Productions, which focuses on Black mental health and highlighting Black creatives.
Cool. Madi?
You got to make me go after the nonprofit thing.
Talk your shit. Let's go.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at MadiR. I make a lot of stupid jokes.
We need those,
I feel bad going after like the nonprofit thing. That's awesome, but
we need nonprofits and we need stupid jokes. We need them all. So it's all good.
Come to me for your stupid jokes and for random bullshit that you were never thinking about before. Amaru and me have a debate coming up.
We do.
I don't know when it is. I'm just gonna show up on the stream like 20 minutes before, and hope I do well. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna kick your ass on at least one question.
Sure. We'll see.
Well, you guys can see it. Also, real quick, I want to say something that we didn't say in the thing. The music in all of these guys' movies,
gosh,
so fucking good.
Oh, like Kendrick Lamar on Black Panther, dude.
Kendrick Lamar on Black Panther was amazing. I still listen to that album. Like just
Redbone starting off Get Out.
Get Out.
Five on it, like you took a classic song and I can never hear it the same again.
Oh,
slow it down.
Like these guys not only make great movies, but they choose great music to go along with it. And I just wanted to make sure I point that out. But yeah, follow me for your stupid shit or don't. Who cares anymore?
Hey,
the world's gone to shit.
Doug, what's going on with you?
Man, we got Highlander tomorrow on Tony's channel. I'm super excited for it. It's a game where it's the last person standing. I give a category. You guys start listing stuff. It goes down until people get knocked out, and we cycle through until there's one last person standing. It's called Highlander. Get it? It's a joke on movies. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I'm just excited to be pretty much wherever. If you want to have me on a show and talk movies, I'm down. I'm hopefully going to be writing reviews for a website soon, so check that out. I'll let you know further along the line. I don't know if I'm on there yet or not. I am terrible at plugging this stuff. I got a wooden desk. I knocked on it for you.
There you go.
All right, and Alex, finish us off. What we got going
on? Speaking of trivia, I am one of the admins on opening night trivia, and we are in the midst of our singles tournament. Doug competed, and we're going to be continuing that for a little while. And coming soon to that channel as well, it is the Geek Tournament, and the qualifiers for that start filming this month. So starting uploading in September, starting with a very creation of mine, the Geek Challenge Cup matches, which Amaru is in one of my groups, and he's not ready yet. You can also follow me on Twitter at goth_AF for different ideas about movies, jokes, and sometimes my very sad thoughts at 2 a.m.
I feel
I will get away from sad thoughts and leave you all with what I always leave you all with, the riddle, the clue for next week. Peggy, again, thank you for helping out with this one. So next week We got 4 guys who were kings on the mic, masters of their domain. They weren't rookie sensations. They came out of the huddle full steam, like steaming locomotives. And every time they got at their destination, they came out eating cornbread in one hand and smacking everybody and their mama with the other. There we go. We'll see y'all next week. This is an amazing show for Chad, for Drew, Medee, Doug, and Alex. We will see y'all next time. Peace.